So in this video today, going to go over CFA 5 Part 2. So it says, first question says, what is the equation of the line that is parallel to the graph of y is equal to 2x minus 5 and passes through the point y, 8, 10, okay? So what we want to do here again is we're going to use the equation, maybe, y equals mx plus b. Remember, m is the slope, right? So that means 2 is our slope there. So m is equal to 2. This is going to be our x, that's going to be our y. So first of all, right now, I can go ahead and say it's not these two, right? Because m should be equal to 2 if it's a parallel line, okay? So then what we're going to do is we're going to plug in our x and our y. So we're going to say 10 is equal to 2 times our 8 plus our b, okay? So this is 10 is equal to 16 plus b. We're going to subtract that 16 from both sides, right? So that's going to give us negative 6 is equal to b. And so now we're going to write the equation of our line. Y is equal to our 2x minus 6, okay? All right, so this one says use the diagram. It says use the diagram to answer the following questions. Which of the following statements would prove that triangle ABC is a right triangle? So again, looks to me like A and C are acute angles. So if we think there's a right angle, we think it's going to be at B, right? Would you guys agree? Okay, so it says the slope of segment AB times the slope of segment BC is equal to -1. So let's just say one of them was one half, and the other one was -2. Wouldn't that be -1? It is. So remember, we don't care about distances. So it's going to have to be slopes, guys. So it's either going to be A or B, and obviously when you multiply a slope times a slope, this would be like 1/2 times 2. That would be equal to 1, right? But there's no negative, okay? So that's why the answer is not B as well, okay? All right, so the next one says use the information to complete the following sentence. A figure has the vertices 0, 0, 1, 3, 0, 4, and -1, 1. What's the most precise classification for the figure ABCD? So let's go ahead and label these. And you guys had scratch paper, so you should have used it. 1, 3 here. This is our B. Then our C is at 0, 4. 0. Well, you know what? Let me move that B over. That letter B, I mean. Whoops, I didn't mean to move the whole B. So 1, 3 is B. C says 0, 4, so C's right there, okay? And then D is at -1, +1, so that's right there, D, okay? So let's look at this shape. A to B to C to D, back to A, okay? So let's double check our sides here. So if we go from A to B, so we're going 1 right, 1, 2, 3 up, okay? So 1 and 3, so that would be 3 over 1. That would be 3 for the slope of that one. So again, let's look at DC. So we're going again, 1, 2, 3 up and 1 over. So 3 over 1. So 3 over 1 again is equal to 3. So those slopes are so that means these two sides are parallel, right? And they're congruent because they're the same 1 and 3s, right? So now let's look at DA. So we're going down 1 and over 1. Actually, let's do this in a different color. Down 1 over 1. So that's -1 over 1. So that would be -1. Okay, and then here again with CB, we're going 1 to the right and 1 down, right? So that's going to again be -1 over 1, which is -1. Okay, so here again, these sides are parallel and they would also be congruent. So this is indeed a parallelogram, okay? If the sides had been all the same, it'd been a rhombus. If all the sides were the same and it had right angles or perpendicular slopes on consecutive sides, then it would be a square. And if it had just perpendicular slopes at all the angles or for consecutive sides, then it would have been a rectangle, correct? All right, the next one says use the information and the diagram to complete the following sentence. The vertices of the triangle are what best approximates a perimeter. So what does perimeter mean again? It means the distance around the outside of an object. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got that side is 5, right? Let's find this one down here. So this one is too high. And what is that? 4 and -2, so that would be 6. So if we're trying to find this side down here, wouldn't we do 6 squared plus 2 squared? That would be 36 plus 4, which would be 40. So it's going to be the square root of 40 for that side. We'll find what that is in just a minute. Okay, now let's find this one up here. This one is 1, 2, 3 tall. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again. So this one's going to be 3 squared plus 6 squared. So that's going to be 9 plus 36, which is the square root of 45. So go ahead and compute those. So the square root of 45 is approximately 6.7. The square root of 40 is approximately 6.3. So what we're going to do is we're going to add these three numbers together. So we had 5 over here. So we're going to add the 5 plus the 6.7 plus the 6.3. So that's going to be 5 plus 12 plus, yeah, so that's going to be 18 right there, y'all. Approximately 18, okay? All right, so the last one says, or not the last one, but, sorry, I don't know why I said last. So the next two, this one says, use the information diagram and answer the following questions. The playground is in the shape of a hexagon A, B, C, D, E, F. The scale is 1 unit to 5 yards. So which of the following best approximates the amount of fencing needed to enclose the perimeter of this playground? So if I look at AB up here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So AB is equal to 4. And ED, is that ED? I can't tell. You're down here, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's also 4 down there, right? So that's 4 there and that's 4 there. So if we look up here, this is 2 high and 1 over, 2 and 1, right? So this is also 2 and 1, 2 high, 1 over. And what about these down here? 2 down, 1 over, right? And 2 down, 1 over. So those 4 sides are going to be 2 squared plus 1 squared, right? So that's going to be equal to 4 plus 1. So that's going to be 5. So it's going to be the square root of 5. So we're going to find the square root of 5, and then we are going to multiply that times 4, because we got 4 of those, right? And then we're going to add our top and our bottom, which is another 4 and 4. So let me see, what is the square root of 5? 5 square root is 2.24. So this is equal to 2.24. There's 4 of those, right? So we're going to multiply that times 4. So that's going to give us times 4, basically 8.94, okay? And then we're going to add another 4 to that. So we're going to add 8 to that, right? So that's going to give us 16.94. Okay, so that's what it is with the scale of 1 unit, right? But then we have to do what to that? Notice the scale right here. Don't forget it, okay? So, and it should have given you a big hint when you got to this point that, wait, something's wrong, because I don't get any of those answers. So we have to multiply that by what? Yep, you guys got it. We got to multiply that times 5, right? So if we multiply that times 5, wait. Let me do that again. 16.94 times 5 is 84.7, which is basically 85 yards, okay? All right, then it says Nathan drew a circle on a grid with a radius of 4 units and a point 2, -1 as its center. So that means this is our h and this is our k, and we're going to use our equation x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, right? So this is going to be, and it's saying which of the following pairs of coordinates represents points on the circle, okay? So we're going to do x minus 2 squared plus y plus 1 squared is equal to 4 squared, which is 16. So all we have to do here is test these points, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put this 2, 5, so that's going to be 2 minus 2 squared plus -5 plus 1 squared. Does that equal 16? So this is going to be 0 squared plus -4 squared equals 16. So that's definitely 16 equals 16. So that point works. Let's try this other one right here. 6, 1. So this is going to be 6 minus 2, which we know is 4 squared. So that's going to be 16. And then we got plus a -1 plus 1. Oop, they've got a 0 there, so that's 0 squared. So hopefully you guys can already see that this is obviously 16 equals 16 again. So there's our pair that match, okay? Now you could check the other ones to make sure that they don't equal 16, but it's asking us which pair of points are on the circle, and it's A, okay? All right, so our last one here says a circle has an equation of blah, blah, blah. What are the center and the radius of the circle? So remember again with this one, we're going to create 2 sets of parentheses. And we're going to move our constant to the other side. Well, we don't have to do that. It's already there. That's nice. Okay, so this time we're going to put our x's in one set of parentheses with a blank, right? And then we're going to put our y's in the other set of parentheses with our blank. Okay, and remember, we're going to add 2 blanks over here because we have 2 blanks on the left, okay? So we're going to take that middle number, this 12, and we're going to divide it by 2. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. So that's going to give us x plus 6 squared. Then we have to square that 6 and put it back up in our blank. So we're putting 36 there, and we're putting 36 over here. Okay, and we're going to continue our process. We're going to take that 4, divide it by 2. That's going to give us 2. So this is going to be y plus 2 squared. And then what do we do to that 2 again? We square it, right? So that gives us 4 here. We're putting 4 up there and 4 over here. So this time we're going to get 40 minus 23, right? Isn't this right here 40? 40 minus 23 is equal to 17, right? Okay, so remember again that when we pull our center, we always change the signs of the numbers, right? So this is going to be -6, -2. So let's double check. So it can't be this one and it can't be this one, right? And then what do we do with our radius, guys? We always take the square root of whatever that value is, right? So we're going to take the square root of 17, which is why our answer is B. Okay? Okay? All right. So that's it.